Every school has someone people barely notice. Someone who doesn't wear a tie, who doesn't teach in front of a class, who doesn't grade papers. At Lincoln High, that someone was Mr. Ray the janitor. He wore the same old gray uniform every day. He carried a mop, not a laptop. He swept floors, fixed lockers, unclogged toilets. The students barely knew his name. Teachers nodded politely in passing. No one asked him how his day was, but every night, after the last light turned off and the school halls emptied out, Mr. Ray walked down every hallway, slowly, deliberately pausing at every locker. He'd place a gentle hand on each one, close his eyes, and whisper a prayer. Not one grand rehearsed prayer, just a few words. God bless the child who uses this locker. Keep them safe. Give them peace. Let them feel loved. He did this every night. For years, without fail. Rain, snow, holidays. No one saw him. No one knew. Until the day everything changed out, until the day evil walked into the school. Until the day his quiet prayers became louder than gunshots. This is the story of a forgotten man whose faith became a shield. A man the world dismissed until heaven revealed what was hidden. This is the story of Mr. Ray, and it might just change how you see the quiet ones. Mr. Ray had worked at Lincoln High for 22 years. He had no family of his own, no car newer than 1998, no vacations. He lived in a modest apartment 3 blocks from school and walked every morning before sunrise. Students saw him pushing his mop cart between classes. Some said hello, most didn't. He didn't mind. He had once been a soldier, then a truck driver. Life had tossed him through storms and silence. But after surviving a car crash that should have killed him, he gave the rest of his life to God. And God led him here, not to preach, not to lead worship, but to clean floors and pray. He never told anyone, not the principal, not the pastor down the street, not even his neighbors. Every night after cleaning, he walked through the school in silence. He prayed over lockers, classrooms, desks, whiteboards, backpacks. He memorized names from locker tags. He prayed by name if he knew them. He saw what no one else did. Tear-stained notes in trash cans, broken pencils from tests gone wrong, anger carved into desks, prayers scribbled in textbooks, and he prayed. Sometimes he wept out, other times he smiled. But always, always he stayed. He believed God had stationed him there, not to fix broken chairs, but to stand between heaven and broken hearts. He had no title, but he carried more authority in prayer than many with degrees. And when darkness came, his prayers became light. It was a Tuesday, quiet, normal, too normal. First period had just ended. Students walked lazily through the halls, joking, texting, planning lunch. Mr. Ray had just finished mopping near the science wing when he heard the first scream. Then gunshots. 3, 4, then silence. Then chaos. Students ran. Teachers locked doors. Alarms sounded. Mr. Ray didn't run. He stood still. He whispered, "Lord, protect them." He dropped his mop and walked toward the noise. He found a trembling freshman hiding behind a water fountain. He pulled the boy into a janitor's closet, locked it, and whispered, "Don't move. God's got you." Then another scream. A girl trapped near the stairs. He darted toward her, shielded her with his body, and guided her to a teacher's room. Over and over, he moved through the halls, not with panic, but with purpose. When the shooter's footsteps echoed near the gym, Mr. Ray didn't flee. He knelt behind a pillar and whispered, "You have no power here, not while I stand." The shooter turned right toward an empty hallway, not left where students were hiding. Later they would say it was random, luck, but Mr. Ray knew his prayers had built invisible walls. His faith had filled the gaps others didn't see. By the time police arrived, the shooter had been cornered. No lives lost, only minor injuries. The principal wept. The news called it a miracle, but only one man knew why. The students didn't forget. Days after the lockdown, stories began to spread. How Mr. Ray pulled 3 students to safety. How he stayed calm. How he seemed to know where to go. One teacher found a notebook in the janitor's closet. Dozens of names, scribbled prayers beside them. Emma, may she feel seen. Josh, help him forgive his father. Carlos, strength for today. A student found a Bible under his cart. Inside, sticky notes with locker numbers and names. One morning, Mr. Ray didn't show up. His knees had given out. Years of walking, kneeling, lifting had taken their toll. But when he returned in a wheelchair, the students clapped. Signs hung from the halls. Thank you, Mr. Ray. You're our hero. A news crew came. He said little. I'm just the janitor, he whispered. But I serve a God who sees what others ignore. Parents cried. Students hugged him. One girl said, I didn't believe in God, but you made me think maybe he believes in me. Another boy asked him to pray for his brother. He did. Right there. With tears. No fanfare. Just faith. He kept praying, even when he couldn't walk. Even when no one watched. Until the day he couldn't come anymore. And even then, the students kept the prayers going. They made a prayer wall, where students wrote blessings and requests. A teacher called it the Ray effect. Mr. Ray passed away quietly 2 years later. No funeral flowers. No grand ceremony. But the auditorium was full, packed, not just with students, but with hearts he had touched. They told stories of miracles, of healing, of prayers answered. And of the man who saw them when no one else did. The man who fought battles on his knees, who walked silently but left echoes of heaven in the halls of a high school. His mop now leans in the school chapel. Beside it, a plaque that reads, he cleaned the floors, but he washed hearts in prayer. If this story touched your heart, remember, the unseen prayers may be the most powerful. Look around. Who's your Mr. Ray? Or could you be someone's? Share this story. Comment how it moved you. And don't forget to subscribe for more faith-filled stories here on Faith Light Stories. God sees what the world ignores. And sometimes He places heroes in overalls